What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Properties and Pour Overs podcast. My name is Adam Colbert, and today I have a very special guest, my friend Michelle Bryan. How's it going, Michelle?
Good, good. I want to know, are you drinking coffee right now in late in this evening?
Oh, yes. I got my nitro cold brew right here,
There
and
you go.
ready to go. It's the night is young for me. I am a super duper night owl. So, and the coffee doesn't really
Awesome.
help either. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks so much for taking some time to share your story. Just to introduce yourself to our listeners, can you tell me where you're located in the country and what does your business look like currently?
Absolutely. So we are located in San Antonio, Texas, and we are currently right now in the building our lending business. So in the capital raising seat and strategically partnering with investors to make sure that they're able to have funding. So on private money lending and or just on the other side as hard money and DSCR.
Amazing. How long have you guys been in the real estate space?
So I have been in the real estate space for 10 years.
Okay.
I was first 5 years, I was a general contractor. So I worked with all the large hedge funds in the Florida area.
Okay.
And that the intention to be into as an investor, and that's going on 5 years. Vin, which is my personal partner as well as my business partner, he's been in the game for 20 years.
Okay.
So yeah, he's an OG involved in real estate, fix and flip business, and now have it's joined me on the buy and hold side.
Very cool. That's awesome. So 10 years, I mean, that's quite a bit of time. What did life look like before real estate?
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. I've always told myself and told people I was just unemployable, and I think I
Yeah.
always have been.
Sure.
I and so I did, I grew up in the corporate America side of it when I first started, but I started at the age of 15 years old, working at a clothing store, Men's Warehouse. Don't know if they're still around, and then
Okay.
realized that I always wanted to like move up so quickly. So I was never in a role or an actual job more than like 2 years because I've always just wanted to keep expanding.
Sure.
And I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas, moved out to Miami, Florida. At that time, I was going through a divorce and I went out and knew no one and built a company to $2 million in revenue and then realized, you know what, why can't I do this for myself? That was not what I took home.
Yeah.
And then that's how I started my entrepreneur journey. And I guess again, I don't think I could ever be employable with a normal corporate
Right.
America job.
Yeah. I think that's the majority of the entrepreneurs, at least to once they get to a certain point, it's like I can't clock in and clock out anymore. And I'd much rather put in way more time, hundreds of hours for myself rather than 40 hours for this big corporate entity that I'm just a number on their spreadsheet. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really cool. And so San Antonio, moving to Miami, was that just for that job opportunity or is just kind of break away, get a fresh start?
So breakaway, get a fresh start. I really wanted to explore. I was young. I was there for 14 years and then
Hmm.
moved back. And I've been back in San Antonio coming on 3.5 years already.
Okay.
Time goes by so fast. But yeah, I knew no one and I went and visited a couple of times and I was like, oh my God, living on the beach and this is going to be awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
I truly did enjoy myself there. But I came back home because I really, at that time, I thought when you real estate invest, you have to be boots on the ground in the city that you want to be in.
Sure.
And I really knew that I wanted to do impact driven things and make a difference. So I said, let me come back home because that's where I feel that I can be. Now, fast
Hmm.
forward, I know you can be anywhere in, this anywhere in the state and you can still invest in real estate.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I think that's a very common thought process for a lot of people, at least when they get started. Like if I need to be able to see it, touch it, feel it, know what I'm doing, figure it out, and then maybe once I get a couple houses under my belt and understand what's going on, then I can kind of expand. So I feel like that's pretty common. Um, but once you got into that space, were you guys mainly buying holding from the start? Were you more fix and flip heavy or doing wholesale? Like what did that kind of look like as you were getting started?
Yeah, so when I knew I wanted to be a buy and holder, so I never went into the wholesale game.
Hmm.
I had a really once I had the construction company going on in Florida, and I knew what the guys were doing. Again, not on the investing side, but I would come in, do the rehabs, I would do everything that was non-permitted, and then I would go into the permit. So I kind of knew what that add value capex, would
Hmm.
be for these properties. So when I came back home, it was with the mindset of knowing that we were going to hold these properties. So
Yeah.
um, doing that, I started kind of exploring and talking to individuals in the community in the industry, and that is when they said, "Well, military housing is a big need here."
Mm.
And so I had an opportunity. I was like, okay, so you will find me the tenants, and then I have to fully furnish these properties and do military. Okay, so, and what are those called? Back then, they were called crash pads. Now everybody knows them as midterm rentals. And so it was a pretty sweet game until it wasn't. And with
Yeah.
her, with that individual, because what was
Hmm.
happening is I was buying these four-bedroom homes and we were renting by the room. Now, what everybody knows is co-living. And it's so funny how the world is all back in the same kind of
Yeah.
focus, just in different things, at least my world.
Sure.
Um, and so at that time, we ended up going out on our own and becoming a property management company, sourcing and all of that. So
Yeah.
always been in the midterm rental side
Okay.
up till 2024. And then we started to want to scale and get into bigger things. So, and that's where we're at right now.
Gotcha. And so when you mention bigger things, is that like larger co-living properties, switching asset classes to like multifamily? Kind of expound on that for me.
Yeah, good question. So in 2024, we really was exploring for us, trying to figure that out. So we did a
Hmm.
mentorship with trying to see, multifamily, learn that,
Yeah.
storage units. And so really enjoyed learning about the storage units. Really, right now, with the way the economy is, multifamily is not in the up and up right this second.
Yeah.
And so. And then Cody Sanchez came into the circuit, right? And so learning about businesses.
Yeah.
But last year we thought we should be property management. And so we went ahead and started to shift our business in May of last year to really be able to scale our business in August. And then comes to find out we had a $50,000 loss in revenue in 1 month. And
Mm.
I think that was God on hitting us on the head like, this is not your lane. Property
Yeah.
management, it does not fulfill you. And I
Yeah.
think we were just being stubborn.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurs never stubborn, right?
Yeah.
And God was like, all right, I'm going to teach you the hard way. And so we really had to reassess and audit what we were good at. And honestly, Adam, what we love to do is raise capital. We
Hmm.
love to get people that want to get into real estate and don't really want to be the boots on the ground and want to still make an impact. And
Yeah.
so we've been raising capital for the last 4 years. And a lot of our current private money lenders knew that we're about impact driven. And so
Hmm.
they've been able to be with us on this journey, and we've been able to help 234 families, one house at a time, one stay at a time.
Wow.
And so when we went out to Squat Up and heard about co-living, we were like, why is everybody, what's the buzz about co-living?
Hmm.
And so real quickly, Vin kind of shut it down. He's like, no, we don't want to do it. And I said, okay, what don't you like about it? And it's the fulfillment side, it's the property management side.
Yeah.
And so I said, but doesn't mean we can't be part of the side that we're strong at. And so as we started to tell our private money lenders, hey, instead of one family at a time, we can help multiple people at a time in one house. They got excited. And
Yeah.
so now we are looking to be capital partners for that, get into really helping all of our current operators that need funding. I was actually talking to another owners club member just a little while ago, and
Hmm.
they're out in Dallas. Adam, the other Adam, and he's like, yeah, well, definitely, let's see if you can capital raise for us and do that. So
Yeah.
that's our journey right now. Is really the lending side of the business, but doing impact driven
Yeah.
opportunities and so forth.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of drill into this impact driven a little bit more, like you're helping these families. Is it more of an affordability issue? Is it a specific type of tenant that you're placing in these homes? Like explain that to me because yeah, just trying to break that in because obviously like affordability is a huge problem and that's why a lot of people are focusing on this co-living model. But and I feel like there's a lot of different arms to co-living, right? Like for me personally, I focus on sober living. So like transitional
Mhm.
housing for people coming out of rehab. Um, but then there's a entire population that still just can't afford a regular rental, right? And they need the
Absolutely.
affordability. So like explain what you guys are kind of niching down on during this in
Absolutely.
this impact investing strategy.
Yeah, so we'll continue to keep our portfolio and we do displaced families, military housing, construction. A lot of
Okay.
constructions come here.
Mm-hmm.
But in regards to the new impact, we've niched down into three sectors because remember, we're not going to do this all by ourselves. We're
Yep.
going to come in and partner with other operators that are already doing it. Who
Mm.
doesn't need money, right?
Right.
And so that's how we're going to come in
Yeah.
and be able to impact. So it's going to be aged out foster care is that one of our really big ones.
Yeah.
Veterans, we do have someone that's part of our team on the veteran side of it. And then we're also looking at independent senior living. So those are the three that we're going to be focusing on and niching down in. And I think that the first two that just keep coming up are is really aged out foster care
Yeah.
as well as the veterans. We have a lot of veteran, you know, problems to solve here in the San Antonio market.
Sure. I love that. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's huge and both of those are definitely underserved. So being able to make that impact in the community while still doing well for yourselves, like that's what we're here to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And so tell me a little bit about your team. Like what is you do you guys look like operationally right now? I know you're mainly focusing on the capital raising side of things, but you have your current portfolio. I'm sure you guys are still looking to buy more or partner with other folks. Um, what does your day-to-day team look like?
Yeah, so our day to day on the property management side, we are currently right now starting to outsource that. So we went from seven virtual assistants, and then we had our service providers. We were down now to three
Okay.
because now we're outsourcing the property management side. So we just recently, it's how network works. Someone from Squad Up, her son, they have the property management. They're starting to get groomed into co-living property management, so starting to look forward.
Yeah.
So they're going to help us with our current thing now. And they have the construction side and the property management experience. And so they are now, we're like in talk. Actually, we're already onboarding, moving that over so they can be really focused on that. And then on our capital raising side right now, it's Vin and myself.
Hmm.
Um, and we're looking for the co-living. We currently have Randy Rodriguez working with us as well, OC member on the veteran side. And now we're just starting to really look at other strategic partnerships, but more at that higher level than employee level,
Sure.
and doing partnerships and then being able to. My vision is we get really good at the investor relations side, capital raising,
Yeah.
and be in that 5K because we're doing investment clubs
Hmm.
and part of, with fractional. So
Sure.
5K to about the 50,000 mark, have
Hmm.
someone be able to really fill that role. So there's a lot of co-piloting and people that want to be capital raisers.
Yeah.
And then Vin and I just strategically move up from the non-accredited investors to the accredited investors.
Hmm.
We'll eventually, within the next 18 months, have a fund that's going to be developed for all of this.
Yeah.
But what we like to do is we're really right now getting the SOPs in place, the concept to be able to build all that out and then backfill what we're currently
Yeah.
doing. So we're currently in the business right now because
Sure.
we just started.
Of
So
course. Yeah, you got to build the rocket ship before it can launch. And so
Mhm.
that's really exciting. I love it. I know you mentioned that you've been raising capital for quite some time. And I've had a couple capital raisers on here before, but how do you guys go about raising your capital? Is there like, do you guys have a unique kind of strategy to reach out to these investors and build that relationship? Just curious.
Yeah, so we're part of a lot of different communities and we're really the marketing side. Vin is like a super ninja on that. Sometimes I get like overwhelmed and I'm like, why are you so much in everybody's face? Or back in the day I did. And he's like,
Sure.
And now I'm like, oh, why isn't this out? Right.
Yeah.
And it was because I was never part of he calls it guerrilla marketing, but I was never part of that. And he's like, you
Hmm.
don't understand. You got to always be at top of mind in people's. So we've done that in the last 4 years, 4.5 years. When we first started raising capital, and these are single family, non-accredited people utilizing different strategies that I know, like you had some other people on here, but infinite banking, utilizing their self-directed and so forth.
Yeah.
And honestly, Adam, it took us the first raise, and it's crazy my story on how that happened, but the first raise, it took us almost like 2 to 3 months for people to really get to know who we were. And
Hmm.
now we can raise for a Subto or any type of deal that we're working on. We usually can raise in about 48 hours.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to raise close to $8 million, 5 million on the residential side of it. The others were in syndications that we've been able to be a part of. And that's only been within the last 3.5 years.
It's
So
amazing.
yeah, so the biggest thing that we say is it's not about the numbers will make sense in the way the numbers need to make sense. It's the story that we tell and we are able to provide. I think a lot
Yeah.
of us capital raisers get very scared when we initially are starting and we don't tell the story.
Yeah.
So our story typically is Adam, we have a midterm rental property. We're seeking $50,000 at, whatever those terms are. But with your help, we could possibly impact 4 families because they're going to be staying at our property. And instead of staying in a hotel, they'll be with us.
Yeah.
So it's the story.
Sure.
And the story is always how we lead. And so a lot of people know that, that's how we do obviously have the money and everybody's making money, but
Hmm.
it's always with the impact.
Yeah, totally. No, I think that's huge. Having the story there and having something, a driving force behind the deal outside of just the return, right?
Mhm.
Like having that is huge. But also, I think it's just, I feel like a lot of people that I talk to that are looking to raise capital come from the mindset of like, I need this money, or like, I'm going out to like beg for this capital, and like, this is a good return, this is a good return. Sell yourself. Where if you come at it from, I'm presenting an opportunity to put your money to work while we also can make an impact in these families' lives. If this doesn't fit for you, that's totally fine. I've got 15 other people over here on the shelf that wanted to jump as well. So just let me know, right? Like, I don't
Yep.
need your money. I want to work with you and provide that opportunity for you. And I think once people understand that, it's a lot easier because I'm not chasing, right? I'm just saying, hey, here's an opportunity. Would love to have you on board. And if you don't want to be on the bus, that's fine. But the bus is going to keep moving.
100%. My first 19 properties, I never borrowed money.
Wow.
And I use that word because exactly what you said. I felt that I was borrowing. I was all bad by myself. I was a Latina woman. I did a construction company. I
Yeah.
don't want to borrow anybody's money.
Hmm.
And prior to us really having to where I got my back up against the wall on 5 refis, I was doing the burst strategy
Mm.
and I was supposed to cash out $220,000. I had to in turn come up to the table with $89,600.
Oof.
All those properties were cash flowing. I was like, I did the numbers right. It was when the banks were starting to shift from
Yeah.
80% LTV to 65%. And I tell this story all the time. And before that, I had one private money lender, and when I went to them, and it was a son, and they were a part of a community, a part of a mastermind I was part of, and he said, "I'm finally you're asking me." He goes, "But under one condition, I can not lend you this money until you can change your mindset and say you're giving me an opportunity to partner with you. You're not borrowing the money."
Yeah.
And that has shifted the game for us. We now just I mean, it's just known that we're not picking up a property without having other, having raising private capital.
Sure.
Um, and it also turns, right? And so with the story that I've told you, we've been able to pay back $600,000 in interest only, not even principal, back to
Right.
people
Yeah.
that probably would have never seen that. And we would have paid that to the Chase banks of the world, but we've been
Hmm.
able to pay that back to, I mean, we have some private money lenders that they're just like that passive income check that comes in, like that truly makes an impact in my business and in my life, right?
Yeah,
And just staying
absolutely.
home and we have a lot of retirees that are just
Hmm.
retired. So
Yeah,
it's all a win-win circle.
totally. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that's super cool. I love it. Amazing. So, you've been in the game for quite some time. You've been on a lot of, worn a lot of different hats in the real estate space, and obviously, entrepreneurship is not without challenges, right? Can you describe to me a challenge that you faced in your business, whether it was early on or something even recently, and kind of the mindset that you had to get to overcome that hurdle?
Hmm. I'm like, how much time do we have? No, I'm just kidding. We'll pick one.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it is recently. I'll talk about recent season. I'm such a giver and I see so much potential in people, but most people won't see potential in themselves, or
Mm,
we do sometimes still have the leeches of the world,
yeah.
and we still see high hopes for them because we know where we've come from, and we say, oh my gosh, this is where I was 3 years ago. Come underneath my wing and we can do this.
Yeah.
But they haven't earned it yet. And so I've learned, and you hear a lot of people say this, but hire fast, fire quicker, right? Or
Hmm.
hire fast, fire quicker. And that is
Yeah.
in partnerships as well. I've learned to use different language. Partnerships are real dear to me. It's like a marriage. I don't mind doing a JV project with someone, and that can be where we're dating and we're trying to see
Yeah.
if it works. So I've learned to not be so disappointed anymore. I used to be so very much disappointed and like, what did I do wrong? How can I have done it better? And in reality, honestly, Adam, not everybody has the dream or vision of what I have. And I've learned to say, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Mom doesn't want to do this. It's okay that work the way that I work. I can't expect everyone to do that. That's why we're all different.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I've learned in entrepreneurship, because I'm one of those, like, if I find something out, I want to tell everybody and I want everybody to win and I want everybody to be what is I consider success.
Right.
And in reality, not some people don't want to.
Yeah, definitely. Success is different for every single person. Yeah. And so trying to not put your brain in that other person's body is tough to
Mhm.
do when you're all you think you're all running in the same direction, but it even just 2 degrees to the right or the left as you run down that hill, you're miles apart from each other, right? And so
Yep.
that's really good. That's really good advice, right? Just understand that not everyone's going to be exactly like you and perfectly aligned, and they might be for a time, but it's okay if your alignment kind of falls out and you can part and hopefully part as friends or have the adult conversation that, hey, this isn't really working out, where it doesn't get too hairy, right? Which
A hundred
doesn't happen
percent.
every
Yeah.
time for sure. But
No, it doesn't.
yeah,
But I think as people, I mean, I've recently been hearing it. They're like, yeah, we've done amazing together, but now we're starting to want to doing it by ourselves, and it's
yeah,
okay. So those uncomfortable conversations are becoming a little bit more comfortable for me over the years, because I didn't start partnerships really within the last maybe 6 years, 7 years. And
gotcha.
so that's kind of on the later side of everything. But it
Hmm.
makes a big difference in impact and scalability when you can have those people in your life, even if it's just for a season, to truly be able to build and keep growing.
Yeah, no, that's so good.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, and so we've been talking a lot about impact investing, and obviously, us in Owners Club, Pace has really pushed us to craft this Mount Everest, this big goal that we're chasing for the next 3 to 5 years that we're not able to achieve alone, right? So, what is your Mount Everest?
Yes, so 10,000 lives in the next 5 years, and that's going to be impact within co-living and multi storage units, as well as buying businesses. This is going to include all our private money lenders that are going to help us all get there with our operators and the people that will be staying within our properties. So, how we're going to be able to do that big impact is be the capital partners for everyone, and just really start changing lives and helping and impacting the world.
I love it. That's so good. And so, if people want to reach out to you, maybe they have a deal that needs funding, or they want to see how they can bring value to you and your team, where can people reach out to you?
Absolutely. So at my story, Michelle, that is all my social handles. And if you through there, you can be able to submit a deal. Or if you want to go direct, it would be michelleandvin.com. And everything is built out there to know how to partner with us, either as a private money partner, if you need to submit a deal. And we're also now announcing any agencies that are out there that possibly need housing. You'd be very surprised how many agencies need us because there's shortage of housing. And I'm so excited because we have so many people with this impact driven. And so we're trying to do as much as possible to get it out to them as well.
Yeah, that's so good. I love it. And
Yeah.
so one last question for you. If you were to go back and talk to yourself 15 years ago, right, when you were starting your entrepreneurship journey, or if somebody you just came across the street and they're brand new, they want to go start their own business or they want to get into real estate, what's that one piece of advice that you would give to somebody just starting?
Just keep going and it will change over time. Don't beat yourself up and want to do anything that you think is too far. Just keep going. And you may not know everything, but just know with what you feel that you are, and it's okay to pivot and it's okay to grow. Um, but if you are really wanting that, you don't need to know your why just yet. I didn't know my why then. Just keep going and it will start to fall into place. And so, yes.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for giving me some time to share your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment, any of these nuggets that Michelle has left with us. Until the next episode, I'll catch you later. Peace.
Bye.